Okay, so I just finished watching the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super, and that stuff was insane. So essentially, what happens is in the beginning, we start out with Jiren, Goku, and Vegeta. They're all staring off like they usually do, but luckily, they get right into the fight, and they are able to actually push Jiren back on a little bit of his continuous, on like a continuous attack on him, and they start overwhelming him. He's actually blocking the attacks with his hands, not just with his eyes, because the dude's like super strong. It's Jiren. What do you expect from Jiren? He's crazy. You can't stop him. He's the monster. But either way, they're fighting off. They're getting blocked by Jiren. Both of them are attacking in their own unison, I guess, in a way. And they end up hitting him with a full power final flash from Vegeta and a Kamehameha, obviously, from Goku. And Jiren just straight up eats it. He takes that thing head on and just doesn't care. Of course, he's okay from it, and he takes that attack, and you end up finding out he's just trying to test out their power. And he tells them, okay, so this is your power, essentially. And just starts going ham status. And after that, we cut off to obviously Dispo and Frieza, since this is what the whole episode's based around. But Dispo and Frieza end up going ahead and start their fight again. Dispo is overwhelming Frieza, knowing that his speed could easily outmatch him. And he ends up using one move. I think it's called like Circle Flash or something like that. It was really dumb because he tried to treat it like a Power Ranger move where he makes like a little X move and he's like, finish. And Frieza just looks at him and was like, that was pretty dumb. But he then makes a deal with Dispo, Frieza does, saying, I will help out you guys if you revive me when you win the tournament. That's all I ask. I will help out Universe 11. Obviously, Dispo's like, not a shot, bruh. I ain't doing that. I don't deal with evil. And of course, then Frieza's like, okay, well, I'm going to go golden. He turns golden, goes ahead and starts like whipping Dispo. Like I'm talking about, he straight spanks Dispo for a good bit and ends up mocking him about his speed and such. And you end up finding out that Dispo has had a secret move this whole time. Well, not a move, a technique more so, but he had a secret technique this whole time. That technique is called, I think it's Super Maximum Speed Light Mode or something like that. And he ends up using that and gains an aura, catches Frieza's like one of his punches, and just starts whipping Frieza. Obviously, since Frieza's about to get knocked off, Beerus ends up yelling out for help, and Gohan comes to save him. Out of all people, Gohan. So, Gohan then goes ahead and makes a plan with him, saying, hey, let me help you out. Frieza's like, I'll probably betray you. Gohan's like, no, you won't, because I'll knock you off the stage. So after they go ahead and talk about what their plan is, they end up finding out that if they limit his moves, which is another thing I really like about this episode. Like the animation was pretty decent, but the one thing I do like is they made it more strategic to take on their enemies instead of just like, hey, let's power up more and more. They're not focusing on that. They're taking more of a strategic approach to it all, which is really good for what deep Dragon Ball really is. It's something I truly appreciate with it. But essentially what they do is Frieza uses his death beams from all of his fingers and pretty much shoots them out and creates kind of like a giant cage of different beams. I don't know if anyone has played like a Dokkan battle or anything like that, but it's just like the Angel Golden Frieza card, his revival category. It's just like that card. I just had to put that out there. But what happens essentially is Gohan locks him into that cage. Like Gohan keeps him in that cage and they fight out 1v1. Obviously, Dispo can't do that now since he can't really go into that super maximum speed light mode type thing. So essentially then they end up getting whipped on both ends. Dispo is able to kind of hold his own against Goku, but he slowly gets overwhelmed as time goes on. And he ends up just about to get punched off the stage when Frieza's beams run out of energy. Frieza runs out of stamina and essentially lets go of the beams. Gohan then right before Dispo goes back into that mode, Gohan pretty much puts him in like an armbar type of thing and holds on to him so he can't move and tells Frieza to knock them both off. Frieza goes ahead and does that. So now we have Dispo out and we have Gohan out, which pretty much means all we have left is Frieza, Toppo, Jiren, 17, Vegeta, and Goku, obviously. And from what we know, there's about like 6 minutes left in the tournament. So that whole fight, I think, took about like a minute or two. Because I'm pretty sure last episode there was 7 or 8 minutes left in the tournament. So that was a pretty quick fight for a pretty fast boy, if you catch my drift, since Dispo was so fast. But I do like the concepts they were taking. Since Dispo obviously is all based around speed, I do like that they focused him on just different techniques on speed. And I do like that they made it so it's not like, yeah, he may move at like practically the speed of light, but that doesn't mean he can do everything. That doesn't make him unstoppable. So I really do enjoy the fact that Gohan is still having his moments in the anime. More so, like, Gohan hasn't had a single moment since, like, the Buu saga, essentially. Like, he's done jack diddly the whole time. And I'm glad to finally see my boy get his action that he deserves. Yeah, he's out of the tournament, but he went down like an OG. And I like that. I respect that. That's one thing I really do enjoy about this episode. Overall animation, though, was pretty decent. They had this one part where Gohan was going to punch Dispo, and, like, they really, like, upped the quality on him. It was really weird. It was, like, for, like, that second. But, like, it went back to, like, the typical animation that it has, which kind of threw me off a little bit, because the whole animation throughout the whole thing was all right. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. But Dispo was obviously not very detailed. I don't know why, but he just didn't have a lot of detail to him until he transformed. Or not really transformed, until he activated his technique. And then with Frieza, since he went golden, it came up with the ha 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 music. And it also had some other stuff as well, obviously with his transformation. The typical transformation you see now with golden Frieza when he goes into his transformed state. But now we know that the next episode is going to be focused around essentially just them fighting Jiren and Toppo. Hopefully the next episode, the quality ends up pretty good. I honestly think with the last 6 minutes, probably another like minute or two is going to be focused on Toppo. And then the last like 3 to 4 minutes are going to like be on nothing but Jiren, Goku, and Vegeta. And then maybe the last minute might be on Goku and Jiren. Because I feel like at some point Vegeta's going to drop out. There has to be something along those lines. We already know that that's how they like to do it with Dragon Ball. Usually it's Goku that ends up being the last one standing and saves the day. It's always a 1v1. It just comes down to when they're going to do it and then how they're going to do it. Personally, I like the episode. Great episode. I know I made this review like super late into the anime. And of course, to my knowledge now, it's happening right at the fucking end of the series, because there's a recent announcement about Dragon Ball Super ending, and I think it's going to end at the end of March is what they said. Definitely something that disappoints me, but either way, I'm going to go ahead and just keep those reviews going. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you do want to see more like this, definitely leave a like. I would greatly appreciate that. If not, go ahead and at least comment or dislike or just subscribe. Just do what you gotta do. Hopefully, by next week, we'll go ahead and get some more in story. I definitely want to see, though, more story on just Jiren in general. If we don't get any story on Jiren, it'll be a little bit of a disappointment because they hype him up so much. They hyped up my dude so much just for nothing. For nothing at all. And it's kind of sad that they did that. But either way, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head on out. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day and or night whenever you're watching this. My name is Wale, and I am signing out. I'll see you guys around. Have a good one.